Okay, so now we are ready to consider a second asset, LTC. I will use the Ichimoku strategy again, setting the same colors that are in the previous video and using the same settings that are default settings for the Ichimoku cloud strategy. I will get rid of other indicators and add only the average true range that I used in the previous video too. In this case, we will set up the entry price for the stop loss using the average true range and not the Ichimoku cloud. So at this point, Litecoin, previously we were on ADA, Litecoin has a price of 165, so we will buy, let's say, for the order one Litecoin if everything comply with our idea of trading it. We will start from weekly to check where it is the all-time high. So I will add a line of the all-time high. We also have to search for references. We cannot trade, let's say, blindly. We need the all-time high and some minor point of resistance. I will set this around here, but this is just using I and not Fibonacci or something else. Just to have references, in example here, where we are near our current price level, because I need a reference for that. And also the range for the supply demand strategy is not a bad way of doing trades like this one. I considered these 2 points here on the starting of the bull market and this not wicked point because I also added the cloud as a reference in this case, not in this one, but I could because you can see that here the cloud has a gap and I will consider that gap. So I have something that is on weekly. Now we'll go to daily. So I'm preparing my trade. I have some lines from weekly, which I could also change to dotted line. So selecting one and taking control, hitting control on the keyboard, I can select more than one line. I will change the style to dotted or to another width. In this case, I cannot dotted, but I will use another width, which is the 2. And these are weekly lines. Now I will go for daily lines, and obviously I will stay near my price because I don't want to take lines that we are not trading for this case. So staying near the price, I note that here I have something that is related to the cloud that is confirmed by these levels, and this is an important level too. So let's say we add about 2 lines here, but in this case I will use a dotted line and I will use a 3 pixel just to change the reference. You can use whatever you want, it's not important. You can use shortcuts if you are familiar, also not important. I will just change the color of these lines because these are lines that are supporting the price, so we will put them on green. And as you can see, they are below our current position. On daily, I will note, and on weekly, that weekly is signaling red, so short, but daily is green, the cloud here. So my first data for a trade is that I will long probably. We will go to check the price is over the cloud, the baseline and the conversion line are set correctly for an entry on Ichimoku, but the lagging span is still on the cloud. So on a daily time frame, this trade cannot be taken following the 4 principles of the Ichimoku. Since it's something that you have to consider like data that has to be like your age, you have to remember always. I will Explain again that the first sign is the color of the cloud here, materializing not on the price level, but exactly here where we are looking at it, the last part of the cloud. And when it's green, we will take long positions. Then we will have to look at these two lines, the conversion line blue and the baseline red. And to take a long position, we will need the blue line to be above the red line. So in this case, we have long condition too. The price to take a long should be over I mean, above the cloud, and it is. And the lagging span, this line, should be above the cloud, but it is not. It is inside the cloud. So we don't have the fourth condition. This last condition is not verified. We cannot take the trade. So we go a little bit down. Why not go into 4 hours? It's also possible. It's a long trade. On 4 hours, we can see that in a glance, we see the four cases. The green cloud is here, so long. The conversion line is already above the baseline, long. The price is already above the cloud, long. The lagging span is pointing up in already above the cloud at this level, so long. On a 4 hour time frame, I would take this position as long. I can also look at the market, look at the point that here I have a resistance. It could be interesting to take this trade here, but this will be our first checkpoint. So we are not looking at the market now, but just on how we will use the indicators. So considering that the market could crash or could be crashing and Bitcoin is behaving bad and Ethereum too, many conditions that should be considered. In this moment, we will not, but we will add as time goes by and we get more familiar with strategies and techniques, we will add all of the parameters. So we will have what is called a trading system, not a strategy, not rules, but a trading systems, which include strategies, indicators, rules, and when we have a trading system, we have to comply with each rules because we are going to optimize our set of rules and indicators and similar things to comply with the trading system. So our trading system now is just indicators and possibly the average true range for the price stop loss. So at 4 hours, I have this condition. Let's go to check 1 hour. At 1 hour, I have a short. So what is this really important about? Because if I go to 4 hour, probably the price will go down before going long here. So I will have maybe an option to get a little bit lower from this level. I will be back to 1 hour and see that here on 1 hour I have short. The price is exactly under the cloud, so the perfect position to risk a short, but the long span is not. So the short is not confirmed. The baseline is crossed above the baseline, here, the conversion line, the blue one, but the conditions are not met for short. So let's go to 15 minutes. 30 is not the standard. On 15 minutes, I have short, but as you can see, red, okay, the price under the cloud, but here, these lines, the conversion line and the baseline are signaling a long. And the lagging span, this orange line, is below the cloud, but it's crossing the price in this point. So it's a risky position. It's not clear. It's more a future long rather than a short. Going to 5 minutes, the last one, we will have a long on 5 minutes, confirmed by the position of the blue and red line. but still not from the lacking span that should take a little bit a step over here to confirm the long. So at this point, having this global interesting view, we know that the main resistance that we added there is here. So on 5 minute time frame, it could be interesting to wait for a trade here. And while waiting, I will perform some activities that are related to preparing the trade because I will enter the right point. I will enter if eventually this line gets out the clouds here and possibly retest and take off, but not generally need to retest. So the first thing I will do is to set up my marker, this one, which is the same that is long position here. So I will set up my marker at about, let's say, forecasting this level here, just to leave that there, and start considering the ratio. I will use a 1.5 risk reward ratio already set. So this one, since I don't have the stop loss set at the moment, I cannot speculate on this. But let's say I prepare my trade. Since my trade will be probably clear or defined in about 3 or 4 candles, I have 20 minutes to do another activity. This other activity can be based on different strategies. In example, setting some order on these levels that I set up. So I will go again to weekly. I will select all my lines. I will open my layer and object tree level. I explained in the previous video how to do everything like this. I will select with hitting Control key all the lines that are support and resistance line that I previously added, and I will group them in renaming in res supports, but you can use whatever you want and hide them because now I don't need them at the moment. But if I want to unhide, I will unhide them. I will hide them and just unhide the closest to the trade. So these 4 that are here, maybe this one, this range, which is constantly affecting my current position. So I have everything set up. I did some order. I have my long position here. So I will group also this position and I will call this 5 minute trading. 5 minutes, just here trading. Since I will have just one 5 minute trading, I will delete the content of this folder when I don't trade, but I can save many positions for the future. And since I'm waiting for this point, I can do 2 things. One is to switch to another tab and investigate in another asset. The second one is to set an alarm. Why not? Because I want to be aware of the trade when it could be possibly materializing. So to set an alarm, I need the price that is here to be at around this level. So I will hit this plus button. If you don't have it, you can add from the options, and it is here. So repeating the step here, the gearbox, you have the plus button, and this plus button is very useful to add alarms because you just click on it and it will ask you if you want to add a line or to add a position. Don't do, maybe better to avoid and to use the other already prepared marker, but also the alert. So I can add the alert for Ichimoku. I generally don't use this, I use the alert for the price. So I add the alert, and when the price reaches this line, a sound will be played on this tab where we have Litecoin. So I will get back to check my trade. At the moment, this is done, and I will go to search another asset. Since we have a trade on ADA here, I will check how the trade is going. This is the previous trade on a 5 minute time frame to Ichimoku. It was a long. I just look if every condition is effectively complying, although the trade is losing at the moment, but it's still green. The price is still above the cloud. The green line, the conversion one, is over the baseline, the red one, and the lagging span is above the cloud and not crossing the price. So, although this trade is losing at the moment, I am fine because all the conditions are met and I cannot get out of the trade. You know that there are some times where we have to wait for the right moments. Okay, so I received in my headphones the sound of an alarm, and since I was out of memory on ADA and so on, I was not on a position of managing the trade, but I hear the alarm, so I should go for that ADA and many other things. While I'm doing this, since I don't remember where I have those assets, I will show you how it can be useful for you to save when you have a payment plan or not, different layouts in the TradingView interface. So I can have having a Pro, not Pro Plus plan, up to four different layouts. I have, in this case, I will go to total BNB XRP because I remember that everything should be here. And when I open these layouts, I have, of course, the symbol that I was working on when I left it, but I have also the object tree. And if I click on this layer view and the object tree, I will see that I have many symbols here. So, in example, ADA as a trade, because I recorded the first video on ADA, and I will switch to ADA, and maybe this is not the ADA that it was working on, because it's just with a long position here. I don't think it's the ADA that I was trading, because I'm very disordered. But anyway, let's go to search another symbol. So this was the layout named the Total BNB XRP. If you don't have the payment plan, you just have one. So BTC is another. I could switch to BTC. And opening BTC, it will open the BTC with Matic in this case. I will go to the layers, closing this order, and object tree to search the previous trades that I set up. I set up like ADA and LTC. No one is here. As you can see, I'm very disordered. I should be punished for that. So on BTC, no. On Ethereum, let's go on S to see if I have what I need here to keep my work. This is a way for you, if you don't know about how to manage the little secrets of TradingView, how to find other things that could be hidden because on different object tree. So I just have one option more, because here I have 6 symbols with 74 drawings, and what I'm searching for is not here. So my only option before suiciding is the first one, this one. It should be everything here. I hope so. At this moment, I will wait for the object 3, and it is here. Let's see. No, nothing is here. Let's do another thing. Go to Litecoin from here. This is something that is related to the no saving zone. I didn't save what I did, so I will go to USDT because I was using the I don't have the light, the Titirius Binance one, and here I don't have it. I know for sure that if I found the correct layout, so if you don't find something that is related to what you did and it's apparently lost, don't be in a hurry before doing all of these attempts because it should be here somewhere in one of the four: LTC, USDT, Litecoin, Ethereum. It should. Here it is not, so I will go to BTC here and search for the symbol here. Okay, LTC. No, I have just one attempt before we start from scratch. Here is not. Maybe because I didn't save the layout. So it's not a problem. I have many level of patience and I can repeat things thousands of times without having big problems. So we will do that. We will. Let's see if paper trading has the open orders and I can reach, in example, this one. Yes. On ADA, I lost my investigation, but I have my trade. So it's not so bad. Why this happens? Because I didn't save. So when you are working on this, remember always to hit the button here, total BNB, because it will save the symbol on the layout that you are working on. And this is something that many times could happen, so don't be frustrated. And when you save that, in this object tree, you will finally have the ADA with the trade where we are, everything, but with the long position that I set up earlier without deleting, and I'm not interested because it was just an experiment, and with the paper trading trade here on, just clicking on it, I will see my trade going on. But I lost the markers and the investigation, and I don't have the indicator. So I have to add again the Ichimoku cloud and the average through range. 1 and 2. It's good because we can have many videos talking about the same thing, but useful. So I just reconstructed the trade now because I remember that it was on a 5 minutes, so it's easy. Now that I did this, I will save on the total layout in order to avoid the next thing like this. Generally, it happens once a week. You forget to save and you do everything like this process and you start thinking about mothers of TradingView, fathers of you, and many other people that are related with kind of bad things that can happen. And then you will have again everything set up and you will be fine. and forgetting this for the next week, you will go back to do the same mistake like me. If you are better than me, I hope so, you will not do the same mistake again. Anyway, what I do again is changing the conversion line thin thickness to 2, just because I want to be aware of these two lines, the conversion and the base. This is related to when above I take a long, when above of this conversion line I take a short. So maybe blue and red are colors that are indicating the correct direction of the trade. The lagging span, I like it orange and or too thick, but you can do whatever you want. I don't change the colors of these because they are quite transparent. They are the delimiter of the cloud. But I increase the transparency of the color of the clouds because I don't want to see them too transparent. I don't change the settings of the indicator. So this is the previous activity I do if I don't save the layout and the indicator like now. Then, since I have a trade here that is going on, and you can see this little arrow is exactly what I was telling you to remove from the options that are related to the trading settings. Show executions. I don't want to see the execution. So I don't want that blue arrow, and I get rid of the blue arrow. Then, since this trade is effectively on place, I remember by memory that it was at 1.777. If I don't remember where it was, I will take this position and I will consider this number, the 17768, to reconstruct the marker. So we are doing reverse engineering of the trade, which is always good. Then we will control how the trade is going, and we are done with that. So long at this level, because it's the entry level. We entered long on 5 minutes, so let's go to 5 minutes time frame. The interesting thing is that since I set earlier the alarm on Litecoin, I'm receiving the sound that the trade for Litecoin is ready. So we will go there again and we will have the trade up and running soon. On the reconstruction of the trade, I will just set the lines as they are. And this is a trade that we can find in the previous video, so nothing hidden. A little bit here. And I just have to move to the current candle, but not just the current. I'm using the right arrow now to move because I know it's around here. I think that in paper trading we have also the time. I'm not sure because I don't remember if we have it, or in the trading journal maybe, if someone, yes. So the time we set the execution of the order was at about 1:55 for me, not for you. So at this point, let's get zooming just to set the marker in the right position. I failed with one candle here. And just to go again on details, getting rid of the average true range, and to close this trade on ADA, just waiting for it to keep going, we will do two things. The first one is checking the state of the trade. The green cloud is on. This blue line is still over the red one. the price is inside. Not a good sign, probably, for the future, but we cannot take a decision on this. It's something that is converging, so possibly it could change the resolution of the trade, but the other signs are strongly confirming the trade. The lagging span is pointing high and it is way above the cloud, so it's good. The price is above the cloud. The only thing to bother about and to check, maybe sometime we can add alarm to here at around this level, just to get back and to follow the trade. But we will not get paranoid and we will leave the trade to comply because it's a long trade. Probably to reach this point, it will take up to 1 day, and we cannot stay here looking at the trade and taking decisions that could prevent the correct execution. The stop loss here, I just set it up using the Ichimoku Cloud principles. So I set the stop loss on the point that where I traded this candle is closing the red cloud. And for the ratio of the profit, I used the classical, let's see how, because I don't remember. Let's go to 30 minutes. 1.5. So risk to reward on 1 to 1.5, which is a standard. You can use 2, but we will discuss later in other cases how to optimize this kind of strategies. It's very important to do this on paper trading because every asset could have an optimization of risk reward ratio different one from each other in different conditions. So we will collect many informations to get the points for each case that we are going to trade. Now we will save it to avoid losing, and we will switch back to our Litecoin asset. So we were on 5 minutes. We are searching for another trade. We had some signs that the trade could be materializing. And so we are going to LTC. We have already the Ichimoku Cloud indicator because it's saved on our layout, which is very good. I will save again just to be sure. If you remember, we were on 5 minutes to take the trade and we were waiting for that sign of the lagging span crossing over the clouds. It's still not perfect, but as you can see, this orange line is crossing quite on the point to cross the cloud. So first of all, I will visual order bring to front the Ichimoku Cloud indicator to have that on the front side of the price and to have the cloud covering the price and also the lines because I'm more interested in lines rather than the price level. Then I will start thinking about this trade because it's going to take position, of course. This is green, first condition. The blue is above the red, second condition. The price is above the cloud, third condition. And the lagging span is taking a look out of the cloud, so fourth condition. We have everything. We can enter in the trade fast, or we can check for the rebound, or we can do some fine tuning of the trade, as I did in the first one. I will use the Fibo retracement to retrace this candle. We will zoom that and try to enter a good position like the institutional level of the golden ratio one, which is from 0382 to 078. The 078 from in this rectangle is quite hard to get because there is the institutional level and they will not leave so many options for your order to be filled there. But we can start thinking about a high order on this level, 16579, or draw a line here. because it's something that we are interested in entering. Maybe we will not have a confirmation like this now. I can have, if I'm trading on Binance, I can use the OCO order and try to enter the position with limits. But here we don't have conditions. We just have the entry point. So I will start adding a long indicator here at about this level when we set this kind of retracement. I will get rid of the retracement because I don't want to have so much verbosity on the chart. And I will position my entry point for the moment here because I want to research the point. It's going up. So why not taking now there, but starting to create a limit order because it's something that we are interested in. As you can see, the alarm is pumping up. $165. I want to buy one. Units one, I think. I'm not sure. We will see. One at this level. So I have the order not filled yet. We will see if we move the order. Now what we do is to turn up the stop loss way down here where the indicator marker matches the point, the below here, the below the cloud, the lower point, and I will move the stop loss there and modify the order, my first point. Second point is because I'm having time to do that, of course. It's 5 minutes, so it's something that is very fast. Then our indicator, I said earlier that we want a risk reward ratio of 0.76 is way below our expectations. We want to go way higher. I have to move this before because I don't have the option to move this one for first, but I will set this number 0.656 to 1.5, which is my risk reward ratio I want to achieve on the trade. Okay, and I will move the take profit here, modifying the order. So my order is completed. My trade is set up. What I did now is just using the Ichimoku cloud, and well, my tuning of the entry was not so successful like the Fibonacci perfection, but I show you that technique in order to start using when you are trading on 1 hour time frame. On 15 minutes and 1 minute, it's very hard to get the perfect entry using the retracement because it's a really reduced range. So this trade here will get the option to us to earn about, let's see how much we can understand that this trade is on a value of about 1.9, 1.8%. But it's on a 5 minutes time frame. Remember that on a 5 minutes time frame, you can have 10 trades like this daily, and you can earn daily 10%, which is something you shouldn't say it's not enough. Don't look at Binance futures 200% and so on. We are doing this on spots, so we are not risking so high. If we lose, it's not a big loss. 1.25% of risk. So we are fine. We are playing on quantity and on spots. And we are, in this case, longing. When we will have short, we could consider the futures for that or the tokens like BTC down, LTC down, and so on. We will get in deep on that later on. So very important thing to do is to save We can also go to the other friend that we have, that is the other trade, and it is the other one. So let's go to see if we are very bad here. Now it's still playing our game here, not perfectly. Let's see. We have something to watch about. First thing, okay, green. This price is above the cloud. Okay. This lagging span is above the cloud and above the price. But these lines are converging. So should I trust this trade or not? Well, I want to trust it because at the moment we are effectively playing on the strategy. Also remember that a trade can be tuned with the average true range in the example, but shouldn't be terminated until it's finished. If you start a trade, it's like going to war. You have to die or to win. Closing earlier could be good to optimize losses. But when a trade is going down, you have also to consider that, look at this point. And if it is a W and then it goes up, for the conditions of the indicator, it is, let's say, like when we have a rainy day, it's gray sky because we have this line that could cross the price, which means exit the trade. We have these lines that are converging, which means transform it to a short. But the price is way above the cloud, and the cloud is a big green. So what I would do in this case is something that is already on the video registration, but not here. I will add my indicator named ATR, average true range, and calculate a better stop loss for the case that we are going to face if this line fell down. So to go for that, I need to understand at the current price level what is the value of the ATR. So I will go on the candle and look at the number that is written here in this red indicator, which is 0.0104. I will take out my calculator, and this is what it was, so I will just take on memory, but I will do a 0.0104, it was the value, and I will multiply that for 1, 2, or 3. These are the ATR, let's say, level of security to set stop loss and to consider how the price range is effectively moving to turn up a stop loss. I will use the for 3. You can use for 2 or for 1, also for 4, but maybe it's too exaggerated. And this will give me exactly the difference from the entry to the next stop loss that I want to set. So if the entry was at 1, I don't remember the perfect number, but let's say 17767, I will subtract this. No matter if it's negative, it's a common way of avoiding rewriting the same number. And this will be my real stop loss based on ATR for the price. So I will take this indicator, this marker, and I will get exactly to 7455. So 7455 will be here about. I can also double click, why not? 7455. This is another way of avoid losing time. But when you are trading, try to lose time and not touch the trade because it's better. You will do less damage to your trade. So as you can see here, the range is wide reduced. So This is not at 1.5 anymore. This is now a risk reward ratio of, let's see how much, 30 minutes, of 356 now. It's too much. So we also have to reduce the take profits. But we will go for 2. Why not? And since the trade is risky, we can also go for 1.5. We are just interested to exit on profit, but not on big amount of losses. So also here, you can go for right click, for double click, and set the price. This is 25%, so it should work. 25% ratio. And at this point, if you consider that you want to modify on 5 minutes time frame the trade because it's going bad, now we don't, but we just leave this marker with the setup of the average true range and not the Ichimoku one and the new settings, and we wait for the resolution of this eventual cross here, eventual lagging span crossing the price below the price here, and the trade how is effectively performing. Until we don't have a real sign of disaster, we don't move this stop loss line and take profit. So this is our only way of interacting with our trade for these cases, because we just use Ichimoku. So we are using one indicator and we can fail on that. We can also do many windows. In example, now I have is Matic, but I will switch to our previous BNB, not BNB, LTC, because I want to follow my trade as it was. So here we have on LTC the other trade that we set up on 5 minutes, just to follow it. As you can see, it's winning, but not perfectly. Also, the lagging span is pointing down. Here, it's quite the same situation because effectively you are seeing that our trades related to the Ichimoku indicator are following more the market rather than the signals of this indicator. Here we have the same strategy that we followed for the stop loss based on Ichimoku. We will add also the average true range here and do the same operation. You will see now that the number is bigger because we have a price that is different. So you can also do 0.4554 using your mind and not your calculator, because it is 1.62. So reducing from the entry here, how is it? 65.90, around 1.62 less here. So 66, 67.1. What is it? No, it's the opposite. 65.1. Because we are going for the stop loss. So the average true range of this stop loss will be here. If we want to optimize the trade in case it fails, and the risk reward ratio for that case will be reduced to, let's say, 1.5. We can also do 2, but we will do that later. And we will leave the marker here. We can get rid or hide and reduce the average true range, but generally we don't need any more it. And we are ready in case of disasters for the future. So we will save again the layout and go for another asset. This will be the last one we will do for this strategy, and we will use, in example, something like XLM. Why not? So I will go to my object selector and I will select, or if you have preferences, we can go for another asset. Just take the microphone and say, I would like to go for that other asset. And we go for another one.